Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm. This is episode number 5, and free. Well, free is good. I don't know if you have discovered this or not, and field number 23 on Calmsden Farm in the first version, version 1.0.0.0, is absolutely 100% free, and so we are going to take advantage of that. We're not playing super realistic as far as, a hardcore kind of mode, to the point to where that we're really watching our dollars and cents and everything that close. And we are kind of role playing different things such as leasing land, whether it is for grass purposes, which we're going to be talking about a little bit more later in this episode, or even for planting of crops and whatnot. So we're going to take advantage of that piece of land being free. And yes, it is a little far away from the main farm area, but because it is relatively small, it will kind of be a good add-on field. And then maybe perhaps I bring up the map here. Expanding out this way might not be so bad either, just simply because some of these other fields are quite massive in size, and want to try to, field number 3, which we own, field number 5 we own, field number 2, those are pretty massive as well. And so I just kind of want to mix things up a little bit, just so that we have some different stuff to do, some different flexibilities and such. As we head back to field number 6, we've got just one little spot left to put lime down on. I did want to bring you all into the loop on a change that I made to the map, and this was well, there's two changes actually. OxygenDavid released his high definition textures for Calmsden Farm, and these are only for PC. And one of the reasons why they did not come out with the base map or version 1.0 even for PC was simply because he had to basically upload to Giants precisely what was going to be the same between PC and obviously console, and that is for that compatibility process that needs to take place for multi-server. He did say when Calmsden Farm was released that he would be releasing the high definition textures on his Facebook page and his Discord, and that is what he's done. And I have installed those onto the map. The other small change that I have made, which is absolutely 100% cool, I think, for me, and kind of how I like to play some of these maps, is I have updated a YouTuber by the name of Disturbed, and I will post a link to his video where he talks about this down in the show notes. Hopefully, I will not forget. But he has released a Geo, remember those from Farm Sim 17 and 19, that is based on UK weather and UK planting patterns. So if we bring up the map and if we bring up our planting schedule, you will see that with these changes, we now have the opportunity to plant spring wheat, barley, canola, as well as winter wheat, barley, canola. Now, I want to keep things as realistic as possible to this portion of the UK, to the Cotswolds, and I have already said that we're going to be doing wheat, barley, and canola, but we're going to have the opportunity to do it just as I had researched, and we're going to do winter wheat, we're going to do canola, and we're going to do spring barley. So we'll figure out what we're going to plant on that field number 23 whenever we kind of get around to that part. And as you can see, I just had just a small strip left to do, but that's okay. We're going to need the lime on the other fields as we continue to work those in. I am doing lime, not doing plowing for the reasons that I explained in the previous episode, and not worrying about rocks and everything as well. Just, I know that some folks would say, well, you could pick stones and turn those into limestone with that rock crusher. Well, that's not realistic in my mind, because I don't think the rocks in this area are limestone, and so therefore it wouldn't be realistic. Plus, the machine kind of gives you double or even triple the amount of content that you put in there. And we'll just buy the lime as we have done so far, and just continue down that process. I'm not sure, I can't remember off the top of my head how frequently we have to put lime down. I think it's maybe every 2 years or every 3 years, every 3 planting cycles. But whatever that case is, we'll just continue to do it that way. All right. Well, I am going to, let's see. We're going to, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to take the lime spreader back to the main farm. We need to go to the store because Mr. Thornton was very nice, and he was in a good mood yesterday when I pitched him the idea of having the rake attachments added to our square baler. He's like, what are you? He says, what are you waiting for? Go take it down there, take it down to the shop and have them install it, and let's get that going. Because he says, I understand, I agree that you can be more productive. Should have took that little shortcut there. You can be a lot more productive with that versus having to rake your hay. Now we will still have to rake our grass that we're going to turn into silage bells, because we're going to basically round bell our silage bells, just to kind of speed things up just a little bit, because obviously we could square bell them, but then what do we have to do? We have to come around behind and we have to wrap those bells. And so I kind of think it's just going to be a little bit quicker for us to just do the round baler, use that, I think it's the Vicon fast baler, and that's what we're going to do. And most likely we will probably do some round bell wrapping, baling and wrapping tomorrow. And I think this is the way to the shop. I always get a little bit confused still, but I'm learning my way around. Trust me, I have worn a path between the two fields that we have been spreading lime on. I have worn a path down between those fields and the lime purchase point. And again, it doesn't really make business sense for us to put lime storage on the farm, at least not right now, because again, it's not something I believe that we've got to do every single year. We might have to do it every 2 or every 3, and we'll just kind of cross that bridge once we get to that point. So yeah, we do have a new toy to play with, and that's what we're going to do for this episode for the most part. And I know that we belled, I think, in the previous episode, or maybe it was the episode before that, but in any event, we're going to do it again with this new Crone baler, and with the rake attachments on the front. So we had those installed, brought our baler down here to the shop, and they went ahead and serviced the baler, and looks like they washed it as well. Good for them. I'm very appreciative of that. And we will just back up here and get connected to this guy and go on down to one of our grass fields that we have leased, and get started with this. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day, and I'm certainly having a wonderful day. It snowed yesterday. Today in the real world, this is Wednesday, the 26th of January. And I'm still trying to figure out a schedule, how I'm going to do things, how I'm going to manage both of the Let's Plays between Elm Creek and Calmsden. And I'm just kind of giving myself a little bit of a buffer. So you are kind of seeing episodes almost every day, I think, for a few days. And we'll probably try to come to some kind of schedule that works good for me, that allows me to still do some of the other things that I enjoy, some of my other gaming hobbies like flight sim, and still give me time to do all the editing and everything else that needs to be done, plus all of my other honeydew chores. But with snow outside, obviously there's nothing to do outside for me, and we need to turn here, don't we? But yeah, the snow was a welcome sight. We have been, as I might have said during some of the Elm Creek videos, it has been kind of a slow start to the snow season here in Colorado, and we're very thankful to have that, to have snow on the ground here in Denver. All right, so I'm going to just park right here for just a moment. We'll shut the tractor off, And we're going to run down because we also have this other field that we have leased. And for the purposes of the video, yes, we've purchased the field so that we can manipulate the grass on the fields, but for our role play and everything, we are just leasing this out. But we've got Sid, he's down here waiting, and he wants to get started cutting grass down on field number 10. And this is what we're going to bale and essentially turn into silage bales as we start that process. And what I thought I would do is, I don't think I've really showcased courseplay a whole lot on this, and kind of how courseplay works with the newer updated versions of courseplay. So I thought I would spend just a little bit of time and show you that. Here's kind of what I do. I bring up the worker map here, and I find where we are. We're in field number 10. I do create job. Um, Click this little guy, put my icon here in the field, get him orientated where he'll go that direction, and then bring up the courseplay generator. And I think we're probably going to do 3 headlands just so that he has plenty of turning room and everything, and we don't have to worry about that. And everything else I pretty much leave as default. I haven't found a whole lot of reason to manipulate any of these settings. And then we will generate our field course. And in just a moment, we can kind of see through the transparency here that we've got our course generated. I will close the courseplay generator. I don't worry about saving these because I suppose this will always be a grass field, so it might be a good idea to actually save it. What I would do is I would probably save, we'll probably have courseplay go ahead and rake this. And then, of course, that will give me the option to also send the tractor and baler down the same course that the tractor and rake goes down. But anyway, we've done that, and then I just basically tab out, exit out, and then down here, I can change this to first waypoint, and I just kind of bring our guy up here. And again, kind of what I have said before, I kind of do as much as I possibly can to make it as easy for our hired workers as possible. Bring him as close to the starting point here, and then go ahead and start him off, and he will just mow this field, and we can go about our other projects that we're going to do. And so I am going to tab back to the tractor just to make that process a little quicker. Okay, we will unfold our baler, and we will get started with our new toy, our new built-in rake and baler. And of course, we have cut this, and we have tethered it, and to make hay. And it's been a couple of days, and it is all dry, and it is ready to go to bale hay for more hay use here on our farm. So we'll just kind of get started and move right into it. And so, of course, by doing it this way, by investing, I think the cost of the rake was about 25,000. Maybe 28,000, something like that. If you look in, and if you have the mod and you look in the store, you see what the price difference is between the two. But I think that over the long run, and we're talking, a couple of years, the amount of time and also fuel, diesel wear and tear on the vehicles and everything that we will save by eliminating the need to rake our hay would actually save us money in the long run. So that's obviously everything that we try to do is to try to improve efficiencies and to make things a little easier so that we can do more with less. Actually, that's kind of the name of the game. Now, I got a phone call yesterday. You might remember the name if you watched my Thornton Farm series back on FS17, I believe it was. You know that I had a character by the name of Thomas. Now, Thomas was the, maybe you could say, the more intelligent of those that I had working with me there on Thornton Farm. And so he ended up actually replacing me as the farm manager there at Thornton Farm. And he has worked there ever since that time, so for 3 years or so. Well, Thomas has been training kind of his replacement, because that's kind of what we do, right, in life, is you're always working to train somebody that can come in and step into your shoes so that you can move on to bigger and better things. And that's what I did at Thornton Farm, and that's what ultimately he has done. And so Thomas may come and join us here on Calmsden Farm, and will give us possibly another worker. Now Sid does odd jobs here and there, and so he's not really considered to be a full-time worker. But we probably, if we can get Thomas to come in here and help us, and hopefully we can get up this hill here, if we can get Thomas to come in here and help us with this, then that will allow Sid to go and do some of his other responsibilities that he has, and he can spend time doing that. And as far as Smithy goes, Smithy is also kind of here, there, and everywhere, and so Thomas would definitely be a full-time employee for us, and I think he is looking forward to working under me again if that opportunity can present itself. And I think it can. And of course, we all also know, if you've watched Thornton Farm before, you know that Billy Bob is one of my long-term employees that I use on my Let's Plays. And of course, Billy Bob hasn't really had a role to play in Farm Sim 22. Billy Bob and Jack are still working on Lone Oak Farm, and doing stuff there. But Billy Bob is a distant cousin with Thomas, and so in Thornton Farm, Billy Bob came over and helped us out and spent some time in the UK. So that might be also an opportunity to get Billy Bob over here to Calmsden for maybe just a couple of weeks to check things out, see what we're doing here, and then of course he will most likely go back stateside where he lives. And so that is all good stuff. Wanted to give a shout out and say thank you to Fury Machine Gaming. He has mentioned the Grizzly Bear Sims channel many times on his videos. That is always very much appreciative. And some of his followers or family members have come over here and joined us on Grizzly Bear Sims, and welcome to each and every one of you. Very glad to have you all here. Many of you have spoke up and announced yourself in chat. That is very much appreciative as well. And if you have come here from Fury Machine Gaming's channel and you've not posted a comment in the chat letting me know that, please do so. And I'm not the best at doing shout outs by name, simply because I generally always struggle just a little bit in remembering exactly who is what and all that stuff, but I will at least acknowledge you in a group and say thank you for coming in and joining us. And naturally, I would say that Fury Machine Gaming's channel is very similar to mine. Now he's doing something completely different on Calmsden Farm, and I've quite enjoyed it. His videos are an hour long, and it's basically he's playing in real time. And I think I talked about this not too long ago, perhaps in the previous episode, about how he's using a bit smaller equipment and kind of going through the motions as if it was real time. So he's going to do everything on video, not a whole lot of stuff off camera, if anything at all. And I would encourage you to check out his channel, because again, very similar to the content that I do here. He is doing things as realistic as possible, as the game allows, much like we do here. And he runs a family-friendly channel, and so I would invite you and ask you to please repay the favor, because Fury Machine Gaming has been very kind to me here, Grizzly Bear Sims, in getting some of his followers to come over here and join us. And I would like to ask you all to please do the same as well, and I will post a link to his channel down in the show notes so that you can find that really easy, and go ahead and go over and subscribe to his channel. All right, well, we've got one more pass, I think, that we will get. Not sure how many bells we've had in this field, but I think that this will be enough to continue us, and we might even get another cutting of grass out of these fields. I have had Sid come in behind us and spray fertilizer down, because we don't have enough slurry at the moment, but we will be using slurry on our fields as we can accumulate it with our cows. Cows are the only thing that we have right now that produce slurry. But as soon as we can do that, and as soon as we have enough to essentially be able to apply slurry, we will get a slurry spreader, and looking at possibly doing one of those that have the booms, that not a huge one, not a super huge one, but one of those that has the booms that inject the slurry directly into the soil. I have, watched there's some concerns in the real world as far as fertilizers and such that farmers are putting down on their fields, running off into the streams and rivers and ponds and such in the UK. And that's always a concern. And I think that obviously, like this field here being so close in proximity to the stream there, we wouldn't want to have a whole lot of runoff if we could avoid it. So I'm kind of thinking that if we're injecting it directly into the soil via those boom arm kind of sprayers, then that would be doing a better job for the environment and helping us out as well. Because obviously, if we can do more with eliminating the chemical fertilizers and such, then that's also going to be a good thing for everyone involved. And I enjoy playing things that way, if it's at all possible, as we get lost in the trees here. All right. Well, waste not, want not. Let's go ahead and make one more circle around and grab this last little bit of hay. It's not going to accumulate to a whole lot, but it will give us a little bit more to put in there. And we will fold things up after we go ahead and knock out these two bales here. And we'll go ahead and fold this guy up. All right, job done, and a good one at that. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think 12 or 13 bells there. So not quite as much as we got out of the other one, because I think we got 14 bells out of the other field, but that did have a partial amount of straw bale inside the baler. Obviously, when we had the shop install these arms, they cleaned that out, and we lost that bit of hay from the previous field. Essentially, I had to sell that baler and buy this baler for it to work out there for us. All right, so we're gonna head back here, and we'll drop the baler off. And I'm kind of still trying to figure out how I'm going to position equipment and where equipment's going to live long term and all that kind of stuff. So for right now, I'm just kind of keeping most of our balers, well, the round balers at the dairy, but going to keep this baler up here at this farm. And we will try to do a little bit better job in keeping equipment and everything parked in certain places, and especially in places that's not going to be in the way. But we will just go ahead and drop that guy, and then we're going to head back and we're going to do one more quick little chore. It's not going to take very long at all. We have a little bit of mixed rations mixed up in our feed mixer that is parked in the dairy, and we're just going to connect the tractor to that and go ahead and top the cows off with mixed rations, and that way we can check that job off the list as well, and that will get them taken care of for the day. And there's Mr. Thornton's dog passing through the rock wall like he's a ghost. Well, maybe he is. Maybe I hit him the other day. We try not to injure any virtual animals in our farm play, if it's at all avoidable. All right, so we will back into the barn. And as I said, our mixing wagon is just kind of directly inside the barn. I kind of thought, well, that's a good place to keep it. Now I will have to try to figure out what the mixture is. The one thing about the additional size bells that we have with FarmSim 22 is it doesn't make it quite as easy, I have found, to, or at least in my mind, I've not mixed any total mix rations. We bought this. We didn't have any bells. Remember, we didn't have any silage, and that will do that job. Um, but before you would put in, I think it was like you could put in 4,000 liters of straw, 4,000 liters of hay, and like 8,000 liters of silage. Silage would give you total mix rations. And I know that you don't have to put straw in. You can do, I think, I think it's like 75% silage and 25% hay will give you mixed rations. Don't quote me on that because I may have misquoted those numbers. But anyway, I will figure that out as soon as we get some silage and figure out what we need to do as far as mixing up total mixed rations. I do like the idea of being able to put some straw in there as a filler, just so that it spreads our silage and our hay out a little bit further down the line. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on our magic 30 minutes there. I will go down and check on Sid and see how he is doing mowing the field number 10 down there. And then we will be back together for the next episode very, very soon. Before you can shake a stick at it, we'll be back and we'll figure out what we're going to be doing. Obviously, we've lined this. What we need to do is come along now and cultivate these fields in and get these ready for whatever's going to go on these fields. We will be doing, as I said before, spring barley, winter wheat, and may do some regular spring wheat as well, just so that we're kind of staggering things out, especially now that we have another field to play with, field number 23, which we bought for free. And I will post a link down below on how you can edit your map if you want to add those geo settings that the Disturbed created. And you can watch his video on how to do that, and it's pretty simple. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will speak to you all at the next video. Take very good care of yourself and those around you, and come back and see us here on Calmsden Farm or over on Elm Creek at your earliest opportunity. Bye for now.